All right, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing today in the chat? Let me know how you guys doing. Where are you guys from too? Let me know where are you from in the chat. I see some familiar names here. Let's go. We got the regulars already immediately saying what's up. Patrick Curley here, back with the renowned deal strategic negotiator, educator, entrepreneur, and just a movement creator, really. Gary, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Patrick?
I'm good. I'm excited. Today we're actually going to go through some deals that were brought to me. And then what I was thinking, we discussed, last time we could go through some role playing. So I'm going to jump on the phones here and do that in a moment. But before I do, I want to kind of just give you the main reason of what we're doing here today, and really the progression of what I see with you guys. Really, we want to talk about how to actually get a deal from A to Z and what it takes for you guys to do that, right? And you have to take action. You got to get on the phone. You got to make phone calls. And so what that progression would look like is seeing somebody do it, seeing that it's a possibility, going through the role-playing process, which I've had 2 brick and mortar locations. Gary's been in the corporate space and trained people as well. And we've both been through with teams where we actually sit down and we drill sales, guys. We role play and we go through the process. And you know what? To be honest, it's really awkward. it's really awkward at first when you're doing role playing. It doesn't feel natural, but if you can role play with a complete stranger and or somebody you're going to be that much more prepared on the phone. So there is one skill, in my opinion, that is the most valuable skill to have, guys. In the chat, what do you think that skill is? What is the most valuable skill you could possibly possess in any industry? What is it? In the chat, guys, what do you think it is? DocuSign. Nice, Gary. I think you're on mute, by the way, or you might have muted yourself.
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, you have a great mic. It doesn't pick up anything.
Well, yours is
Customer
pretty
service,
good. Isn't that a sure?
go getter, sales. Braxton got it. Misspelled it, but that's okay. I can't spell either. Sales, guys. That is the number one skill. So those of you, by the way, who said
At
consistency,
least you know you can't spell.
I know, I own it. I just own it. I've like take on that.
I loved your attempt at vice versa today.
So those of you who said consistency, I can't disagree with that. With consistency, you will build your sales skills. But 100%, guys, sales will allow you to create money out of thin air, right? Literally. And that's how I think of it. Like, I get on the phone with conversations, I get things under contract, I get properties under contract, I'm able to flip those contracts for cash. And out of thin air, sales is that ability that allows me to do that. So we're going to kind of dive into that today a little bit.
That is, by the way, the most important skill, the top of the heap skill for any entrepreneur, CEO, because your job is always to selling.
100%. Yeah.
Right. When people ask me, how do you start a business? I said, number one, you got to be good at sales. Number two, you have to have a good go-to-market strategy. And what does that mean? You have to have, people want to sit and do a business plan, write a pro forma, show all these projections. How are you going to get your customer? That's your tactical approach. How are you going to connect with customers? Anyway, and that's part of sales, frankly. That's the basis for, I mean, who cares if you're good at selling if you don't have a product or a strategy to get to the marketplace? Anyway, sorry, Patrick. I'll let you.
I love it. I 100% agree with you. All right. So what do you think, Gary? Should we dive into calls, or should we answer any questions that they've got burning in their souls, or should we just jump in straight to calls?
Well, when we get started with those questions, sometimes they never end.
It just rolls into the All right, let me make a call here. This lead is from Lionel. Lionel, you're here today, buddy? In the chat, let
Where's
me know if you're here.
Lionel?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he's here.
Can you raise your hand so we can chat with you?
Raise your hand, Lionel. Do you know how to raise your hand? I could find him if I have to. There he is. By the way, everybody, if you want to raise your hand, go to the pull your mouse or finger down the bottom. It says reactions. And you can raise your hand or you can send little hearts floating by the. There we go. You know, whatever.
All right.
You
Lionel, you sent me a property. Their asking price is 509. The interest rate is 3%. Do you know how much equity they have?
It was negative. It was where are my notes at? They have it listed for 509, and what did I do with my notes here? What did I do with my notes?
I'm going to take a look right now in PropStream to see what's going on here. Now, when you had a conversation with them, let me ask you this. Did you go over what sub 2 is and if they were open to that?
Well, I asked him about it, and he said, they would be open to it, and the property has a VA assumable loan on it. It's been on the market for I think 150 some days. So they wanted to see, try to get something done with it. Damn, what did I do with my notes? I got everything kept. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it had 509. They had a loan balance of 441,925. Left them with 16,175.
441. Did they confirm that with you?
440. No, he told me 446.
Okay.
But I'm finding 441 is what I came up with. Had a
so they've got 17K in equity.
Yeah, about 17K in equity. And it has a interest rates was 3%, I think. That's what it was.
Yeah, it looks like it's 3%. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
nice.
All right, let me give this guy a call. I'm gonna mute myself.
Mute your what? Oh, turn the sound off so we can't interrupt you. I assume you can't hear me now, right, Patrick? Perfect. So I can do a blow-by-blow color commentary here. Yeah, role playing gives you a safe space to practice.
You don't call twice, you didn't call at all. Hey, Cedric, my name is Patrick Curley. I'm partners with Lionel, who spoke to you about your listing on J5 Ave in Lancaster.
Okay, what's your question, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm the last conversation that you guys had. Do you have a minute to chat?
Not if it's not if it's regarding an offer.
Yeah, this is regarding an offer. Uh-huh.
Is it regarding a contract offer or just an outright sale?
A contract offer or an outright sale? Is that what you said?
Yeah. finance or a cash deal?
Yeah, well, we pay. So basically, the conversation that I had with Lionel, and maybe you can catch me up to
Sounds
speed.
like this guy's trying
He
to
mentioned that there's an assumable loan
weed
on this
out the
house,
wholesalers.
this property, and there's very low equity. So my partners and I were some of the biggest buyers in the Sun Belt and California, and what we're looking for are properties that have low or no equity. And what we do in those situations is we pay that equity out and assume that loan. I wanted to call you to see if that's something that you and your seller might be open to.
Would you assume the loan through a assumption package provided by the lender, or you create your own?
So the way that we assume our loans are subject to. So the
Okay. The seller wouldn't be interested in something like that.
Oh, so you've spoken to the seller?
Yeah, we've had this situation before.
Got it. I'm just curious. I won't take too much of your time. Do you know why he was opposed to that?
Because he wants to transfer the deed. He's a senior vet, and he wants to move into some senior facilities out of state.
Okay. I mean, we've done transactions like this before where we're able to meet that goal.
And how were you able to do that?
Well, so the way that this works is we take power of attorney to pay the mortgage
Adios,
on their behalf.
motherfucker!
And we literally close
Hi, guys.
multiple properties every week on these terms. So essentially we would take title in our entity name, and the mortgage would be paid off by us, our licensing
Who's
servicing
that?
company. So they're
14, you
licensed.
better wait.
And all of that would be put in a security deed of trust through escrow. So this would be a securitized transaction for your client.
I'll tell you what,
Nice, he's
when I present a contract to him, I'll present it to them.
Of course. Okay.
And based on the way you're explaining, it wasn't the way it was explained to me. So it sounds like something I could probably stand behind.
Yeah, and I understand it's kind of an unorthodox transaction. The only reason that we do this, just to give you a little bit more information, is that it's way more scalable for us. Obviously, as an entity, we can't assume only a certain amount of loans. So this allows us to scale and acquire multiple properties every week. So what I can do is send over just a brief email explaining how much equity the client has with what I can see on public record with the note. And then what I would need to actually write up a true formal offer would be the mortgage statement. Do you think you may be able to access that for me?
I don't have the current one. I have an old one.
Okay. Yeah, we would.
Are you referring to a payout demand, or are you referring to a mortgage statement?
Just the mortgage statement.
Okay.
And the only reason that I would need that is that what we do is we take those terms and then we write them out in the RPA, and we hand that over to escrow just to say, hey, escrow, look, this is actually what we're assuming. These are the exact terms, so that everything's above board. Okay, well, great. Hey, I appreciate your time. I know you're probably really busy. What I'll do, once I hang up, actually probably in the next few hours, I'll send you an email with all the information that I mentioned, as well as company information, so that you can see that we're a legitimate company.
Sounds good.
Okay, Cedric, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, Lionel.
Bye now.
All right, Patrick.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Patrick?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you need to remember to hold the phone towards the microphone a little better.
I did. It was his phone. It was super quiet.
Really?
Yeah, I literally had it right up against the microphone. Did you guys hear any of that?
That was a really
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
The guy was ready to hang up on you, and you pushed through.
Yeah.
And
So did you guys see that? What happened there? Because you guys are going to get this all day. And I hear this from a lot of baby elephants. Oh, I'm trying to lock up sub 2 contracts, but no agent wants to do it. Well, it's because you let them say no.
Yeah. Yeah, I know right now the agents are basically pissed off right now. They cut you off time you get on the phone with them. They say, look, if this is a sub 2 deal, anything like that, we ain't interested, our seller's not interested in it, whatever. We had a lot of people that's calling me about it, and we just don't want to do it, and then some of them just hang up, But I did talk to a broker, and he was the president of the local real estate association, and he knew all about it. And he said that basically he didn't want to present that to. He said they did talk about it, but he said he won't present that type of an office to his sellers because there's no security for them. You know, if we default on the loan or anything like that, he said, I'm pretty sure you guys are one of the good guys, you know, but some of the other wholesalers and everybody else has really kind of screwed it up. So one of the things I was going to ask you today is that, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say on one of the videos that I was listening to with Pace, that he took out some type of an insurance or something like that on the loan that would gave them some kind of security or something like that.
Yeah, pause that question for a second, okay? Because I want to give you something that's more powerful and useful than what
Okay.
you're asking me right now.
Okay.
So, tell me the phrase that the agent said.
Pardon me?
The agent shut you down, right? What
Yeah.
exactly did he say?
She said that they didn't want to do any sub-2 deals. People been calling her, and they just didn't want to do it. And the homeowner didn't want to do that. They basically just want a traditional sale, cash out and go.
Sarah, it sounds like your main concern is that we might default. Is that correct? And she says yes. And then you reply with, what if there was a way that I could show you that we will not default? Would you be interested? And would you and your seller be open to this type of idea?
Okay.
She's going to
Sure.
go, oh,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you have in mind? Well, Sarah, no transaction is risk-free. Let's just be honest. Let's address the elephant in the room. However, I can provide you with information on my company, and you can see that we are liquid for hundreds of $1,000,000. In fact, in this state alone, we have a fund for over $10 million for these types of acquisitions. Now, I understand that you have to protect your client. That's your number one priority. But after you see the company information that I provide you, I'm sure that you will be confident in this transaction moving forward.
Okay.
So you take whatever they say and you say, well, what if there was a way? What if I could show you that we won't default? Would you be open to it then?
Okay.
You got to remember, guys, and if you're not writing this down, you're wasting your time in here. Okay.
Yep.
If every person that you talk to when you're in sales, they are holding on to an end result, their reality. And that reality can be broken loose because they're holding on to that reality tight. This is my reality. This is my experience. This guy Lionel is just going to say the same thing that everybody else is saying. He's going to default. If you can change the context of their reality, then you have a doorway into a yes. And by how did I change the context in that conversation? I said, I changed the possibility. I said, well, what if there was a way I could prove to you that we won't default? Would you be open to it then?
Right.
And I'm not having her say, yes, let's do this deal. Let's sign this contract. Let's open escrow. I'm having her question her own reality. And now the no became a maybe, and I can work with a maybe. I can close a maybe.
Okay.
Does that make
All
sense?
right, tell me, Patrick, what's next for this seller?
For the one that I just called on?
Yeah.
So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them.
No. What is the seller going to do after he sells his house?
Oh, I don't know. We didn't get that far. He kind of wanted me to get off the phone.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of did get that far. I heard him say something about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're correct. What did he say? He wanted to go into an old folks home, right? Out of state.
Well, that's what it sounded like, some senior living facility or something. But I think this is really important that we didn't seize on that. That was a real missed opportunity in this call. My only criticism of this.
Yeah.
And
Well, what I did say was, and this was the how I overturned the conversation was, he was like, no, it's not going to happen. He doesn't want to do that kind of deal. He just wants to move to a senior living facility. And I used a third.
Why do you think I'm focusing on this?
Because it's the motivation, guys. It's the most.
Well, it's motivation, but it's also what can anybody guess why I'm
timeline? He's in a timeline. Doesn't he want to get out of there and just?
Well, but what if it's really important to know when you're taking a VA loan what the seller's expectation is, because they may not be able to spare the entitlement. They may want to do another VA loan. So knowing that he's not going to buy another piece of property, he's going to assisted living or something like that, may be critical. Now, there's also senior living communities that people buy into. So when he volunteered that little piece of information, when that came out, if it were me, I would have oh, that's it, I would have seized on that right away and explored that a little bit, or within a sentence or two, I would have gotten into that just so I know for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a good opportunity. So to me, that was a missed opportunity. Now, look, I'm being critical of Patrick's call. When we do role play, when we do live calls, you have to be comfortable taking some criticism. This is constructive stuff. And we all screw up. None of us has achieves perfection.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a missed opportunity here. And I just wanted to bring that up. But I don't want you to be afraid of taking a little criticism. Patrick's dealing with, he's not upset with me. He won't after this meeting's over say, why did you, I'm Mr. Perfect.
Right. And you guys should be listening to your calls. I would recommend that, because you can go back, and he's right. I could have done a better job because that's the problem. So in sales, if you want to become good at sales, you have to define what sales is. And that's helping somebody get over the obstacle that they're facing by using the tools that you have at your disposal to get them there. And by truly understanding the end goal, you're going to be better equipped to help them get there. Right. So Gary's 100% correct. And on the next call that I have with him, that's what I'm going to bring up.
So my question is, I know Gary kind of touched on it, because I'm looking at a lot of the VA loans. I got like probably 3 or 4 of them that I'm looking at right now that has very little to probably one of them is negative 24,000. I would say negative 25,000, but has a 3.05% interest rate on it. So my deal was, how do we handle that when they say, okay, well, you can't take over a VA loan or anything like that?
You say, yeah, you can. We do it all the time.
Okay, and
Yeah,
how do I explain that? How do we do that? The same way that you just said the other one, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we basically assume it's subject to.
it's a non-qualified assumption. Look, I just went through this with a deal where the broker ended up scuttling it, killing the deal.
Yeah.
And because the broker was absolutely indignant about not being involved in a transaction like this. And I was telling the agent, well, if your broker won't do this and you believe it's the right thing for your client, we'll get you paid. I'll represent the seller and get you your full commission as a referral.
Again, Lionel, I'm going to go back to the phrase that I gave you, right? He says, that's not possible. You can't do this with a kind of loan. Yeah. You could reply with, well, actually, we do this a lot, and I'd love to get you on the phone call with my partner who can go into the details about it. Would you be open to that? Because it is very possible, and we can get your full commission paid.
And that was perfect ninja move that you pulled off with him when he threw that at you.
Yeah. And guys, write this down. In every conversation, regardless of what it is, people are going to ask themselves 2 questions. What do you want?
What?
And what's in it for me? And if you don't touch on those 2, you're not going to end the conversation really well. Right? And that what's in it for me is that full commission, because you start throwing around this creative stuff and they're like, what? Number one, they're most likely not going to be comfortable with it because they don't know how the transaction runs. Right? Stress, the source of stress is uncertainty. So if you create an uncertain conversation for them, they're going to be stressed out about it. And they're going to be like, nah, my seller doesn't want to do that. Mm-hmm. But if you can say it like I say it, like, are you familiar with this type of transaction? No, don't worry about it. That's totally okay. It's an unorthodox transaction. I understand. I actually have an agent who I'm going to pay out of my pocket. He's amazing with this type of paperwork. And we do these all the time. I'm going to CC him on an email to you, so that if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to him.
And Patrick's talking about me, of course.
Yeah.
The one and only.
But I was able to get through all of my pillows, and she let me talk about everything. And then she said, basically, hey, we've been getting all these kind of calls. I told her we was credible and the whole deal. We closed, that whole deal. And she basically just didn't want to have it, basically just like, okay, I'm gonna hang up type thing, So
I mean, and so this is just my opinion. You can do whatever you want. If you really want a property and the agent's standing in your way
Yeah,
and they don't want to work with you,
yeah.
I
I
mean,
thought about
you
that.
only have one other you have two options. You can give up and move on, or you can go around them.
Yeah, yeah, I thought about that too, because most of the stuff that I'm looking at, the only way that the seller's going to be able to sell their house is basically probably doing it by themselves too, because there's nothing there,
Yeah, exactly.
and and the agent is going to take, let's say $14,000 or $8,000 of that, put it in their pocket, and these people are going to walk away with maybe $2,000 if they walk away with that, but they want to, no, we're not doing that. No, no, you guys keep calling. Everybody's calling, saying the same thing. So I switched up the way that I was approaching it,
Right.
and got through. But when I talked to the other guy that used to be president of the board of realtors in the local area, he was actually pretty cool. So I'm gonna give him a few days, and I'm gonna circle back to him because I wanted to have a conversation with you guys and say, gonna approach him a totally different way. It's like if we could. My thing was I'm trying to get it in the language so I can communicate it to myself, so I can communicate it to him in a way that when I say it, it's like, okay, this is the type of protection that we're gonna give you by, doing this deal with us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, there is no protection.
Correct.
To be honest,
Right.
that's just the truth,
Yeah.
right? And so it has to be about making you're an associate and you're in contact with a partner of one of the largest buyers in the Sun Belt.
Yeah, told him that.
They have a portfolio that you have no idea how many doors they own. And this, by the way, guys, this is the truth because I'm like partnering with Pace on these deals, right? So we're not lying. This is the actual truth that we're telling here.
Yeah.
And so you should have confidence going into those situations. Some agents just aren't going to want to hear it. And so I'll go back to what they want in the first place. And usually if I get a no, so when I get a no, I'll say, oh, so you've spoken to your seller about this? And I just want clarity. Why are they saying no? Right.
Yeah.
And if they're just like, oh, they don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, they're lying.
Maybe. Right. But then what I'll go back to is, well, the reason that I ask, John, is that I'm actually willing to give your seller over what they're asking.
Yep.
And I let that sit. And then they go, well, what do you mean? And well, you're asking 500. They got a note on this thing for 480. Yep. So there's zero equity here, John. In fact, there's your seller would have to deposit money to walk away.
Yeah.
But I'm going to create money out of thin air and deposit it into escrow for your client and pay you your full commission. Yep. This is the best case scenario. The only caveat to this whole thing is that we have to assume the loan.
Yep. And he told me that they are basically just trying to keep it from going to foreclosure. I think it's the husband and wife kind of going through a divorce. And he said the guy is an attorney and the wife is something else, So I guess he thought that was gonna like make me scared or something. I told him, I said, we deal with attorneys too, so that's no problem. So
whenever you get that, you say we're operating within our legal rights.
Correct.
We're an open book.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was familiar with what we was doing. He said we should do it all the time. So we know about wraps and sub to and all that type of deal. But basically, he kind of said it like this, like I wouldn't advise my seller to do that. I wouldn't do that because people can default on the loan type thing.
What if you were selling to a corporation? What if you were selling to a company?
Yeah, well, I gave him that too,
Yeah.
So, but what I'm gonna do is I got him on my list. I'm gonna give him a couple of days. I'm gonna circle back to him again and hit him up again, because he didn't rush me off the phone. He actually talked to me.
Nice.
And I kind of got him to kind of calm down, and the way that I did it is that when I called him at first, he didn't answer. So what I did, I shot him a text. And then he kind of responded back like, who is this? And I told him who I was, and I was calling about this property, do you want to sell it? So he said, oh, okay, all right, yeah, but I'm busy, but I'm going to be in a meeting in about 8 minutes. So I said, okay, that's all I need. So he said, okay, so I gave him a call, and I just jumped right into it, and told him, okay, here it is. I don't want to waste your time, blah, blah, and the whole thing, get you kind of laid it out. And he said, yeah, sounds good. And I said, okay, well, you do know your seller's only going to net, if you sell it the way you talking about selling it, whatever, he's only going to net about $2,000. He said, yeah, they all aware of that.
Yeah,
So,
great. We'll give him 10.
so I said, okay, all right. So I got him on my list, you know, to kind of let him, you know, breathe a little bit. Cause I think this was like Friday when I called him, you know, it's like getting close to the weekend, people kind of turning off a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him a little time. I'm gonna hit him back up again this week and see where he's at.
Nice. Lionel, you're doing great, man.
All right, appreciate it. I'm working on some. I got like 4 or 5 of them that I'm working on. So
Good work.
when they see that out of state phone number, they are not answering the phone. That's what they're not doing. The agents, you know, they just kind of going back. Say, okay, well, you do know, you know, this house been on the market for 60 days. You know, well, yeah. Well, I think I got an offer coming. I said, you think, or do you know you have an offer coming? I have an offer now. We can kind of get you going. So he was like, okay,
Lionel, you're a shark, bro. I love it.
So, all right, dude. Thanks.
Good work, man. Good work.
All right.
Guys, give Lionel some love in the chat. He's out there doing it.
If you don't mind, I want to chime in real quick for Lionel. Another thing that helps with the number out of state deal, we went over this in another group, was I suggested to use an app like Text Now or some kind of free, via VoIP type calling system, because you can actually pick the area code that you want to call from. It won't come up as spam likely. More often than not, it'll be a regular number. If it's been cycled through and used too many times, it may come up as spam likely, but there's also a purchase option for like a $5 lock-in for the number or something, $5 or $10. I mean, really, you pay $50 for your cell phone minimum every month, so it's not like, you know, you're really putting out a whole lot for another phone number for your business.
Yeah, I am working on that. I'm working on doing that. The most pullback I got when I was calling the Las Vegas area, you know, and they was like, a lot of them didn't answer the phone, and then when they did answer the phone, you know, oh yeah, you calling, you know, so no, I'm not a wholesaler, you know, I'm a buyer, you know, this is what I want to do, blah blah, and the whole thing, you know, so, you know, they seem to be a little wound up, you know, so I'm just kind of going back. I give them a day or so, whatever. I go back and resurface and approach them a different way and see what happens.
Yeah, but you're doing great, just like they said to keep up the great work.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
Do we want to take another question or do we want to move on?
Let's pull up Cindy. Cindy, what's up? How are you?
Hi, I'm just being needy and I'm hoping you can do mine next, please.
Oh no, I was actually coming to you because
Yeah, it
when I
was
saw this
something
one,
too wrong. There was something off about this call and I can't find him on PropStream. That's what's bothering me. And I didn't know how to reach you to figure out where I find it. But what happened was I have a friend that just gave me their password, went to PropStream, pulled out some homes. I think they were low equity, low interest. The guy that answered said it was off market. Then I said, do you have any more? Then he said, yeah, actually I do. And then I think I put it in the notes what he said. Basically, they're just trying to get out of it. They just bought it. He couldn't give me what we needed, right? I know, I think I gave you the motivation. They're buying another home, the timeline now, condition, it's in good property. And then I gave you the price.
so I'm seeing on Privy there's a mortgage for 579 that was taken out in 2022.
Okay.
It says 5.1. So were you able to get any mortgage? You weren't able to get any mortgage information?
He just said it was the loan was 3 to 4%, but yeah, I didn't really get a lot from him. His name was Colton. I said, listen, he goes, just send me a letter of intent. And I said, okay, well, I'm up to my partner. I'll get back to you today. So obviously I can't say that. I didn't know how quickly we can return someone. It's 174 days on market,
And they want 75K down.
something like that. And they're ready to go now. And he knew what sub 2 was. So it almost sounded, you know what it sounded like it's kind of like when I'm being set up. It was just way too easy and accommodating. So I wanted to hear you talk to him because I couldn't find what I needed to find.
Got it. Okay. Let me give him a call.
For 800, so there's no.
Apologize, I couldn't make it to my phone right now, but if you would, please leave your name, number, and a brief message. Hello.
Hey, Colton, this is Patrick Curley. I received your contact information from Cindy Zerlin, who's an associate at our company. Do you have a couple of minutes to chat?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. So I'm calling in regards to Gardenova Avenue. She mentioned that your seller was open to us assuming the loan and paying out equity. Okay, that's fantastic news. Okay, so I just had I'm looking at the pictures. Obviously, this is a new build. I'm assuming there's no problems with the foundation or the roof. I just want to verify that.
No.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Fantastic. So I am kind of struggling to see what's on the note. I would love to hear what they owe so we could start the underwriting process and I could just hand over this information to underwriting. Do you know currently what they owe on the mortgage?
I have it in my notes, I just don't have it.
Okay.
It's at the 500.
Okay. And so they're asking 8. So there's considerable amount of equity here then.
They put up there.
I see.
So they bought it. Yeah, but,
Okay. Got it. Okay, perfect. And then tell me, I'm just curious, do you know why they're selling?
yeah, they have some. They own some other properties and their plans to. So they're putting some things. This being the primary residence currently, they're putting stop and then. Those are what they purchased for. They're already down payment.
Okay. Well, you're a smart agent. I wish more agents thought like you. So I guess what. Oh, fantastic. Great. So I'm actually, I don't know if you know who Pace Morby is, but he's actually one of my partners. And we're acquiring properties in this area. So we're definitely qualified to do that type of transaction. So what I am missing some information. It seems like they might not necessarily need the money to move into another house. However, they would like to break even. Am I hearing you correct?
It was like crazy, yeah, correct.
Okay. And you said you do have access to the mortgage statement?
I do.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Since they're interested, we're ready to go. We have a huge fund for properties like this. So I would just need to know like what's owed on that mortgage. And what we can do from there is take a look at their ask and we could start to negotiate how much equity we'll pay out. It looks like because they have considerable equity, we'll have to create a seller finance note and pay them over time. Do you know if that's something that they're also open to?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, well, I think that's all the information that's actionable for me now. Let me see. Give me one moment here. Let me see if Cindy put your information. Yeah, she did. Okay, so Colton dot, is that Vila or Via?
Yeah.
Via. Okay, cool. Colton.via at the Via group pre. Okay, I think okay, I got you right here. Okay, I got that email. What I'll do is I'll send over some information. And then when you have a chance, if you could just reply with a mortgage statement, and then we could start passing all that information to underwriting, and then hopefully we can continue this conversation this week. Colton, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. You too. Bye now.
That good?
Hey, Patrick, do you have the bottom of the phone pointing the mic?
Yes, this is the bottom of the phone.
Oh, because we're just not getting anything.
Did you guys not hear that?
No.
No, but that's okay. Was it a good or bad call?
He's completely open to it.
I know, that's what was weird about it. It's kind of like if I was calling someone and they were trying to set me up, they were just being easy. Like this happens all the time when I'm coaching people. Like he was just way too easy. So I was a little worried about this. He was like, sure, yeah, no problem. I'm like, okay. So what's the next step? Do I just stay out and hope that you handle it? Can I hear what you're doing? How does this work? So I learn this.
I'm going to email him probably today. He's going to respond with the mortgage statement. That's the one thing that we're missing. This is going to be a hybrid because they put a considerable down payment on the property,
Right.
number one, and they've had considerable appreciation, number two. So once we have the mortgage statement, then that's when negotiations start. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at comps in the area, and I'm going to see what this is truly worth in terms of the value. From there, I'm going to reverse engineer the equity, and I'm going to let them know this is what I'm willing to pay you. And then we're going to negotiate terms on that payout. What we want to do is we want to create cash flow, right? So it sounds like they want to break even with 75 down. You know, I don't know what they paid, but maybe once I have that mortgage statement, I can kind of, see how much money they've actually paid into the property. And then we can work backwards from there, because he basically he already showed me his hand, and the hand is they want to break even.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we have time to do comps, or do you want to go through all the call leads and see if we have time afterwards?
I don't think we're going to have time to do that right now. Let's actually get through some questions if we can. But Cindy, I'll keep you updated. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, good work on that one. Guys, give Cindy some love in the chat. You never know where a phone call.
Anthony's got questions again.
Never know where a phone call is going to take you guys.
Yeah.
Just got to get there. You got to get on the phones, guys. What's up, dude?
I was actually curious. So since this is my first time here, how do you guys submit these things to look for you guys to look over? Because I actually got one today that I got so far into the conversation, but he wants an offer, and I told him we're gonna have to crunch some numbers. But I got all the information I could for motivation, condition, and I even did the comps and everything in ARV. So
Is this a creative or cash?
he wants cash, but he's still kind of open to terms. You know what I mean? So
Okay, so just to clarify, when I say creative or cash, when we're referring to like cash deals, wholesale cash, basically they're looking for a lump sum to close out. So if they had a note, let's say they had a first position, a mortgage, and if I say cash deal, they want me to pay cash to pay off that note. So that would be a cash deal. So creative deal would
pretty
be
clear.
Oh, so they're okay. They probably want cash. Okay.
Yeah, it's free and clear. Single family residence from the 50s,
Is it
but
vacant?
it's had no, it's 900 square feet.
No. Is it vacant?
Oh, vacant. No, it has. All right. So he told me that there's 2 tenants in it, but they're aware that when he sells, that they could be out as early as October.
What state is this in?
It is in Florida.
Yeah. So generally speaking, I would want it delivered vacant if it was a cash deal. If it was a creative deal, we could take it on with tenants.
And that's what I told him. Like, we have ways around it, if you're open to terms, you know what I mean? So,
Right. Okay.
but yeah, it's like I said, it's free and clear. I went through, got the motivation. He's basically living out of Puerto Rico right now, and I said, "Well, it's a nice property. Why? What do you? You got tenants and everything. Why would you want to sell it if it's cash flow? And he said, "Well, basically, because I moved to Puerto Rico. I mean, rather sooner than later. I'm not in a rush, but I just don't want the hassle. So I guess the tenants might be a pain in the butt. I don't know. whatever. But yeah, he just seemed like he wanted an offer of cash, and I told him that, yeah, we can come back with one, but I'll have to have my partner explain it to you in better terms because I didn't do the final negotiation on anything. It's my first real lead.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you were pitching your offer, what were you pitching, cash or were you pitching seller finance? What were you?
All right. So when he said he wanted cash, it was way higher than the house is even worth. I said, where are you at with that? And he told me 230, and I'm like, you know, okay, well, I might not be your buyer yet, but if you're open to terms over time, perhaps we can work out some kind of finance where, you become the bank and basically we'll make payments to you, over time you get more money that way. But if you're looking for a cash out, then, I can come back with a cash offer after I speak with my associate. So that's when I took the time off the phone and then did the ARV and all that in the comps.
So he's asking basically retail value.
Oh, yeah, above actually. He wants 230 when I comped it at roughly 204,
Okay.
and that was through Redfin, Zillow, and Realtor.
So here's what I would say. Even if he's open to seller finance, you would still want to negotiate a price at market value.
Yeah, and I'm thinking counter with a 105, give him the option to turn that down and tell me where he's really at.
Yeah, and so when you're pitching cash deals, you really want to know your numbers, and rapport is super, super important. So
Absolutely.
when it comes to this is direct to seller, yeah.
Yeah, direct to seller, and I already did the formula that I could for the repairs and for basic repair, not cosmetic. So I came
So
up with 110.
yeah, with direct to seller, I've got a very specific call to strategy, and I call it the Trojan horse. Okay. And so the first sentence that I'll say out of my mouth when I call the seller is, "Hey, John, can I ask you a question that has nothing to do with the property?" And I'm going to be talking to them about something that we talked about on call one. Like, "Hey, you mentioned that you were golfing in Florida at that one. How are the greens?" Right? Like anything that has nothing to do with the property, that's how I'm going to start my conversation off. I call that Trojan horse. And so we start talking about that, right? We start talking about that. And then I go back into, this is what I say to transition from there. I say, "John, I could talk about golf all day long, and I love where this is going, but should we start to talk about 123 Main Street? What do you think?" And then I go back into the conversation about the house. Okay. So as I'm talking to them, I just confirm all the information. "Hey, John, I just want to confirm my notes with you." I confirm all that information. And then the next thing that I'll say is, "Okay, great. I'm just curious, John, why are you thinking about selling? What are you going to do with the cash?"
Yeah.
And if they
Yeah.
push back on that, I'll be like, "Oh, John, look, you know what? It's none of my business. I was just wondering if you're thinking about playing more golf." And that's the Trojan
Right.
horse.
That's actually pretty intelligent how you said that too. I was thinking about how to come back when I call him. So
Yeah.
thank you. That actually opened up a door for me, and I appreciate that.
So why
And
that's important is you get them talking about what they're going to do with the money, and that's the exit strategy. "Well, I'm going to take all of that cash and I'm going to move it into X." Then they want cash. But most people don't have they don't have a plan for that cash. So if they don't have a plan for the cash, they don't need the cash. If they don't need the cash, then they might be open to seller finance.
okay, so that's planting the seed in their head as to they're putting their doubts in their mind to work, saying, "Well, I guess if I don't really need it, but like really, I guess I could take terms, right?"
Yeah, John, I mean, how would you feel if you're on the ninth hole drinking a beer and you don't have to think about tenants?
Yeah, right. You said you don't want the hassle. I mean, let's get rid of your headache,
Yeah. And look, it's passive income. And when I say passive, I mean, it's seriously passive.
Mailbox money. That's what I told him.
So, all right. So that's my approach when it's direct to seller. When there's an agent involved, it's all about commission. It's all about the commission and helping them
Yeah.
get the property sold, right? So it's a different strategy altogether.
Yeah, I figured that would be different. Like actually having to my guess would be talking to an agent would be more or less, what kind of deals have you had trouble with, kind of deal, and then let's see if we can't get me to talk to the seller themselves, or even if I have to go through you, let's work out some kind of finance deal if they're interested in open terms. Da da da. I
Yep.
mean, really, and then on the back end you get more than your 6% because I would offer an incentive.
I'm going to give you two more things that are really powerful. Okay. Underwriters. You're not making the offer, your underwriters are.
Okay.
So you put him on hold. Okay, John, I heard your price. Give me 1 second. I got all this information put into the system. I'm gonna put you on hold so I can talk to my underwriters. Put him on hold for like 30 seconds to a minute. It's gonna seem like an eternity. And it is, right? And then you get back and you go, oh my God, John, I cannot believe it. I got an offer. They haven't given me one all week. They haven't approved one all week, John, but I'm approved for a cash offer on this house. Here's what they came back with. And then you give them that number.
Okay.
Because now you've got such good rapport, he's not going to hang up on you. And the price isn't coming from you, it's coming from your underwriter.
Right. I'm just the messenger. Right.
Right, exactly.
It's not my department.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, rapport is king when it comes to direct to seller because they will hang up on your ass.
Oh yeah, I know that's right. I mean, I've done cold calls and myself just for TD surplus, you know, and even trying to give people money that they're entitled to is still hard. You know, they still think it's a scam. So you got to break the ice. You got to talk to them. You know.
Yep.
Move it up.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
100%. I expect a contract next time we talk.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. And this is only week 5, by the way.
Good for you. Keep taking action, man. That's the biggest thing.
We're getting there, moving these deals up. So where are we going next, Patrick? Did you have other calls or did you want to make a shift here?
Let's make a shift. Is Jason Lee in here?
I believe he was.
He is. I can see him. Jason, are you with us?
What's going on?
Hey man, I got your lead. I have not called her yet, but she's asking retail. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. And the only reason I submitted it is because I said I was. But when I looked at the numbers, because I didn't even crunch until later,
Yeah.
and she did tell me that if I can't match it, she's gonna put it on the market. So it was just because of the pocket listing, I want to show it to you, but I do know that it's not realistic as far
Oh,
as
wait. So if they don't get their ass, they're gonna list it?
Yeah.
Okay. To be honest with you, I think you and I both know it's probably not worth the
Yeah,
call.
exactly. And she was talking about addition play and all this other stuff. So I just wanted to, I guess, present it to see if you had a buyer that would like reach, but it is a reach when it comes to the price.
Yeah, and you guys are gonna get a lot of that with agents, especially in SoCal. That's just been my experience. It's like, oh, you can add an ADU and unicorns are gonna be coming out of the front door, and it's like so valuable, right? And so what I usually respond with is, oh, I don't argue, right? I say, oh, that's a great idea. Hey, can you give me some comps? Can you send me some comps with ADUs so I can take a look? Because really, that's the only way that you're going to deduce how much it's actually worth with the same build and an ADU. And it's not always easy to do. And if you don't have that, then you can't project off of, an idea. Right. So that's usually how I reply to that. And then you can always just tell her, look, this isn't going to work for us at this price, but we're a strong buyer at whatever, 1 million, all cash. So if that works for you in the future, let me know. If not, I totally understand if it doesn't work for your seller. Make sense?
Makes sense. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thanks for hanging out, Jason.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. It's already 4 o'clock. That's Pacific Standard Time. ADU. Dina is saying, what's an ADU? Additional
Accessory dwelling unit.
Yeah. So it's just like a in-law, like a little small unit in the backyard. California is crazy about ADUs.
California has a huge housing shortage.
Oh, we got Mike Matthews with us this evening. Mike and I are working behind the scenes on creating a system around acquiring properties on Creative. Mike, thank you for your hard work so far. Any questions, guys, so far? You guys want to role play? Should we do some role playing?
Who's up for role play? Want to raise your hand if you're into it? And you're talking about Mike Mathias, right?
Oh, am I saying his last name wrong?
Yeah,
Matthias. I'm saying it very,
Matthias. Yeah, it's Matthias.
I was saying it very American. Matthews.
You
Sorry.
weren't, no, you were just mispronouncing it altogether. Give me a break. Don't try to weasel your way out of that one.
You know what? Matthias sounds like a lot smarter, when you say it like that, Matthias. I like that. Clifton, Ross, what's up, man?
Hey, I was just typing it's role playing in the schedule for today, and
Yeah,
then you
let's do it.
start saying it. So
Let's do it.
it was, I guess, perfect timing.
So does anybody else want to get in on the action? What do you want to do? Be a buyer or a seller, Clifton?
Oh, buyer, come on.
I'll be the buyer.
Okay.
I'll be the buyer because that's what I'll be doing. So I think it makes sense to practice as you train as you fight.
Anybody want to be a seller?
Are you going direct to agent or are you going direct to seller?
Dealer's choice. Because I need to talk to both of them, and I read over the scripts, but I try not to sound like I'm from a script because I noticed that holds me back. I try to just read it word for word instead of having a conversation.
100%. All right. Does anybody want to be a seller or an agent? Come on, guys.
Stephen, what do you want to do? You want to be a seller or an agent?
Agent.
All right. So, ring, ring.
Wait a second. Well, let's just set some parameters.
Okay.
ARV is 350. Okay, and where are we going for cash or creative here?
I'm learning mostly about creative, but I think I should dig that out.
Let's go for
When
ARV is 350. Stephen is a seller, right? Not an agent. Direct to seller here.
Agent.
You want to be an agent? Okay. All right. ARV is 350. You figure it out, Clifton. Go.
All right. Ring.
Hello.
Hey,
This is
Stephen. Hey, Stephen. My name's Clifton Ross. I was calling because I seen a listing that you have on 123 Main Street.
Yes. How can
All
I help?
right, I do. Hey, I see that you have it listed at 350. Is there been any offers that's been going through?
I've got about 4 offers so far. Yeah.
Four of them. Oh, awesome. That's a popular space then. Did your sellers have any rejections to these, or is there a timeline associated with getting an house sold?
Yeah, basically I'm going to present them tomorrow. I've got a couple bad ass and then a couple low balls from investors.
Okay. All right. So I'll get away from the low ball because I do have 2 types of ways that I buy, and low ball offers it's one of them, but it's not my preferred method. It don't fit well with my spirit. If you want to get 350, I don't want to fight you on your price. But if the seller may be open to getting that 350 over a period of time, that's something that we have available. But it's just that option. It's not making an offer at this very second. But would your sellers be open to like a backup offer like that in case these other 4 don't, reach the finish line?
Yeah, I could take a backup offer. A couple of the offers are conventional.
Okay. The conventional offers are at asking and like a FHA VA type of thing, if you know.
They've both been approved.
Okay, approved offers. Well, that's good to know.
Their financing has been approved.
That's good to know. All right, if it doesn't make it to the closing table, you have my number. If you don't mind, I'll send you an email with like a sample offer or like an idea of what I had on the table. Would that be something that
that's not a problem
you'll be open to?
Sure.
Great.
Well, I'll text you email.
I'll text you my number and my email, and I'll send it over to you in a little bit.
Okay, sounds good, Clifton.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Clifton, what's the condition of the property?
I was looking at pictures on the website, well, Zillow. So I figured that wouldn't be as, I guess, needed to talk about because it's a on market property from an
You
agent.
always need to talk about it. Pictures lie.
Okay.
Yeah, even inspection reports can lie.
Well, inspectors can miss
Okay.
things, but you
Yeah.
know, so you got the price and you kind of got the timeline, but you didn't get from the agent what the timeline is for the seller,
Okay.
right? And you didn't really get a motivation.
So positive thing here is that like you've got a pretty good tonality when it comes to your calls. It seems like you're trying to build rapport. You know, you're reciprocating what he's saying, like, oh, you got offers, great, you know, like that was good. That's good that you're trying to like build rapport. I wouldn't go straight to the price, because what most agents are used to is like they're just getting beat up on the phone all day about price, right? That's what they're used to. And if you're going to want to appear like an actual buyer, you want to ask questions that an actual buyer would ask. And most buyers want to know about the foundation and the roof. So going into condition, like Gary was mentioning, like, hey, John, I'm looking at these photos online. I just wanted to give you a quick call and ask you, is there anything going on with the foundation or the roof? I'm looking to pick up a project in the area.
How's the HVAC? How's the HVAC system?
Yeah.
Stephen, what did you think of how Clifton approached it?
Yeah, I thought I agree with Patrick. He was building rapport. Did very good building rapport. Did not get much information. I already have a couple offers, so you can send me an offer, but I'm pretty confident I'm already going to sell it. So
yeah,
and agents bullshit. Someone else calling. Agents bullshit too. All right.
When he said
we don't know if he was making up stories or not. Trust but verify, you know.
Yeah, Clifton, what asking condition allows you to do, or allows the conversation to do, is you want to get the agent talking. You want to get them talking, because the more they talk, the more comfortable they're going to be, and the more opportunities for rapport you're going to have. And so condition is one of those things. And you're going to get two responses. They're either going to immediately launch into the property and you're going to get a sense of the tonality of their voice. Are they rushed? Are they pissed off? Are they happy? Are they in a good mood? Are they willing to chat? That immediately is going to give you, how's this phone call going to go? And if they talk, great. Now you can talk about the property. You can talk about the 5 pillars. But if and the other response is going to be, you're going to have to look at the disclosures. And they're just going to shut you down immediately, right? And then it's like, okay, cool. Thank you for mentioning that you have those. You can email those to my inbox. It sounds like you're busy, so I won't take too much of your time. And then boom, you go right into occupancy. This looks like it's vacant on the pictures. Is that the case? Okay, great. I'm just curious. This is a very interesting looking property. Do you know why they're selling? Motivation. Timeline. Okay, great. So when are they looking to open, escrow, and close? When are you accepting and reviewing offers? Okay, awesome. And then, and only then, now that you've got rapport, because if you ask most agents, hey, what kind of offers have you gotten? They're going to be none of your damn business.
I've gotten that too.
Yeah. And you can't jump straight to that. You got to know, you know, you got to build some type of rapport. And then, you know, normally what I'll say before I ask that is, hey, Stephen, I'm just curious, if we make an offer that works for your seller, do you think you could write this up for us? And they immediately hear performance, commission, and then they go, oh, yeah, I could do that. And then you go, okay, great. Can you tell me, have they rejected any offers so far? Because now, like, you're on the same team. And they're like, well, if I'm going to write this thing up for him, this guy's going to perform, maybe I'll tell him what kind of offers are on the table.
Yeah. Right? And that's kind of how my brain processed it when he said, I have 4 offers, 2 low balls. I was like, well, stay on the field. Don't just like, all right, bye. Like,
right. Yeah. And
in the email will be a better follow-up. It's kind of how my brain processed it.
And Clifton, don't tell people that you do low balls.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's guys.
Don't
Write
do
this down.
that.
Write this down, guys.
You do cash, all cash.
Yeah.
It's not a low ball.
No.
Do
Yeah.
not tell anybody that you're a low ball buyer. No, don't do that.
Yeah. If anything, you want to say, "Oh, lowball offers." That sounds frustrating. I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, don't sit well. That's why I don't offer it. That was
Right.
my follow up because I heard myself say it and I said, oh, ew.
Why did I say that?
No,
It's
that's
terrible.
it's a dirty word.
Hey, look, I buy
Yeah.
two ways. I buy cash and I buy creative. And if you're
Mhm.
looking for all cash, close quick, then obviously, I might be a little lower than what I can do if you give me terms. Like I can pay $1 million for this house if you give me the right terms, because I'm looking to cash flow this. But that shouldn't be the first thing out of your mouth. Does anybody who's logged in here have any advice for Clifton? Wants to make a comment?
Yeah,
I'm
keep
open
calling.
to all. I'm
You'll
open to
get it.
everyone.
Keep calling.
Anthony, how could I guess it would be you?
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you have? What advice do you have for Clifton?
All right, so like just touch back on the low ball thing, because I've heard that more than once on the, oh, you're just gonna low ball me, and they hung up. But when I got to talk to somebody, you got to assure them that I'm not here to low ball. I'm not here to waste your time, and any more than you're trying to waste mine. We're trying to work out a deal that's mutually beneficial to both parties, so we can both walk away with this happy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, rapport is a big thing. Assurance is another thing. Validate what they say, and just I'm the talker. I haven't negotiated much yet because, like I said, I'm new to this, but I'm a talker. I can do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only information I really have on that one. And don't try to choke up on the script. Like go back to just talking. Just be you.
Yeah.
What I would
Yep.
do and what I would recommend that you do is write down the 5 pillars and follow that format. Hit the condition, hit the occupancy, hit the motivation, the timeline, and the price. And you can go off subject. You can talk about whatever rapport building stuff comes up in the conversation. That's fine. But you always go back to that pillar, because if you organize the pillars that way, the conversation will flow a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. And the nerves was a lot better this go round than the last time we role played. So
yeah, good work, man.
Well, that's what this is for, to help you work into Mr. Smooth move. Stephen, did you want to try to be a buyer?
Sure.
All right, Anthony, would you be Stephen's seller?
Sure, I could try that.
All right. Again, ARV's 350. Is this are we calling an agent, or Stephen, do you want to talk to an agent or direct to the seller?
Let's stick with the agent.
Agent, okay. Can you be a good agent, Anthony?
No, I haven't really had any rapport with any. I had one run-in, which I crashed and burned with on a question, which turned into my learning experience. I said earlier, okay, this is my first attempt at this acquisition, so on and so forth. So no, I don't even know much about what they would say or do yet.
All right. Well, you can be
I'm sorry.
seller. That's fine.
Does anybody else want to be an agent for this guy? Raise your hand, guys, if you want to be an agent for him. Let's go. We're here to get better.
Yes, someone raised their hand. Come on, guys.
Cindy can do it.
I'll do it. I don't know what to say, but okay, I'll do my best. Am I the agent?
Jakima raised her hand. Do you want to do it, Jakima?
Gary, do you not want me? Is that what
Oh,
you're
I don't.
saying?
I'm happy with anyone who wants to do it, but Jakima raised her hand.
Jakima, no, Jakima, go for it. That's okay. I got it. Gary doesn't want me.
No, that's not true at all.
I appreciate how much
you could be next. As long, but Jakima, do you want to do it, Jakima?
Without friction, you don't have fire, baby. All right,
Jakima, go for it. Nail him. I'm watching.
Nail him.
Well, I'm not hearing that she wants to do it. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I will do it. I raised my hand.
Okay, and then Cindy, you're next.
That's right.
Okay, so ARV's 350. Jakima, you're the agent. Are you an agent, Shakima?
I am not.
No, you got all right. Well, you're gonna play one on TV today,
But
okay?
I talk to them a lot, so I pretty much
Good.
have an idea of what they say.
All right, Stephen, go.
Hi, Jakima. This is Steven.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm calling about the property on 123 Main Street. I saw your listing.
Okay. What did you want to know about it?
I see it's been on the market about 6 days, and I'm looking at the pictures on Redfin. Looks pretty rough. Can you tell me anything about it that I don't see in the pictures? What is I can't see the roof. You know what condition the roof's in?
Well, yes, I know a little bit about it. The roof from the seller, he's saying it's about 5 years old. The condition, like you said, yeah, it's pretty rough. So, it's definitely going to take some TLC to get it up to par. There's not really much foundation issues. The HVAC is pretty good. I would say, it was, I would say from like 2020 that the seller had the HVAC done. As far as the flooring, it's pretty, it needs some work. The kitchen, of course, needs some updating. You might need to update some of the floorings, the walls. The seller, he had some really bad tenants in there. They didn't really take care of his property. And at this point, he's just pretty much a tired landlord, and he's just looking to sell it, get it off his hands, and keep it moving.
Okay. Well, I like working on these kinds of projects. Is it occupied right now?
No, at the moment it is vacant. The tenants left about a month ago. Are you an investor? Are you a buyer? Like, or what's the deal here?
I've got I work with investors, and I'm also a handyman in Burbank. So I like to fix houses and flip them myself. You think this is what do you think the ARV is over there? Have you pulled any comps? Once it gets fixed up, what do you think it's going to be worth?
I mean, I can send you comps, but we have it listed currently at 350. I mean, I think there's room in there with the seller, because he is very motivated and he's just wanting to, get this property off his hands. But I can definitely send you comps if that's what you need to help you evaluate.
Yeah, I was thinking it was looking like some of the comps I pulled around 450 or so. Some of the properties that have been fixed up in the neighborhood. I think it's kind of interesting that they fixed the HVAC and the roof, and then he really didn't do anything on the inside. So maybe some of the major stuff is done. I'm kind of estimating the repairs at about, I'm looking at it like $60 a square foot. Now, how many square feet was that house?
The
says
house,
1,200. 1,200.
yeah, 1,200 is the square feet. So are you looking to like fix and flip this, or are you just looking to hold this property?
Yeah, I'll probably fix and flip this one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll come in all cash. If there's a little bit of room, I can send you an offer. Why are you said he's just tired of holding the property?
That's correct. Yeah. He just wants to be done with it.
Okay. If I came up with a number around 280, do you think that's something he'd be interested in?
I mean, have you walked the property yet?
I have not.
Okay, so you're just going off the pictures. I mean, you can write up the offer, and I will definitely present it to him, and see what he would say.
Okay, would you be willing to give him a verbal offer to see if that's something he'd be interested in?
Yeah, sure.
Let's call
That's
time
not a
here.
problem.
Let's call time. Okay. I think so. How do you think you did, Stephen?
Well, I was going down the list for comp, and I think I missed timeline, but I felt like I got to the spot where I'm giving her some kind of number, and she's saying she'll present it.
You know, most agents are not going to take a verbal.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't, you know, you can verbally pitch a direct to seller, but agents are gonna, would you write up an offer for me at 380? Might have been the better approach to ask.
Okay.
So remember how Patrick
Sure.
said that is enticing the realtor to double end, get the whole commission. She's the listing agent. So for a lot of agents are motivated that way. There are agents that will, like me, that will not double end. There are brokerages that won't allow it, but they'll use, some of them will allow a different agent in the brokerage to represent the buyer. Patrick, any comments?
I have them.
Yeah.
So guys, write this down. Your intro sets the tone. Your intro sets the tone. Okay. So when I call, I get kind of right to the point, who I am, what I'm calling, right? Hey, Jakimo, my name is Patrick Curley. I'm calling about 123 Main Street. Do you have a minute to chat? In your sentences with questions. Because if you don't have a question at the end of your sentence, it gets real awkward. Right? If I just say, hey, I'm calling about 123 Main Street, and I don't have a question, it gets kind of, you see how it doesn't flow anymore? Right? So you're, as soon as you got over because the intro was a little, you know, it didn't flow, but once you started to talk, then it started to have some flow to it. But your intro is really important, and it's simple. Just, hey, Jakima, I'm calling about my name is Patrick Curley. I always say my full name. Why do I say my full name, guys? Because it gives them transparency. I'm not hiding behind anything. I'm an open book. I always use my full name, even if it's text messages. Right? So, hey,
Stephen,
this is Patrick Curley. I'm
on
calling
a
about
scale of,
go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Patrick,
No, that's
but
fine.
on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you?
What's most nervous?
10. Okay, so
7 or 8.
7 or 8. All right, it shows. You got to do some breathing exercises or something because your voice is cracking and you sound very nervous. And we got it. That the whole point of this is we're family, right? We're family here. This is just practice. This isn't for real. So this is your opportunity to figure out what it takes to get to that calm place.
Yeah. So the other feedback that I would give you is that when you were like, this looks really rough, which probably is the case. But remember, when an agent has a property, it's their baby, right? They're going to, oh, it's next to schools and the potential and it's lovely. And they're going to do their whole agent thing. So instead, shift that and say, hey, I'm just calling about 123 Main Street. I'm looking for a project in the area. And this looks exactly like what I'm looking for. It's positive, right? And then the agent's going to be like, oh yeah, it's a great potential, you know, if you fix this up, and then it's going to get them talking, right? Because if they hear, oh great, this guy says it needs a lot of work, they're going to work me on price, right? You want to position yourself as a partner with that agent. I'm a cash buyer. This is a project. I'm going to perform on it. And I want to work with you to work with your seller to see if we can get them the most possible and also hit my financial target, right? But you did pretty well.
Good for
Yeah.
you for stepping up to the plate when you know you're at an 8 level nervous.
Yeah, 100%.
Good for you. Congratulations. That was a big move. Hopefully the next time it'll seem trivial.
Thanks,
Hey?
guys. Thank you.
Work, Stephen.
Hey, do we want to get one more in here?
Yeah, let's do
Well,
it.
Hey,
Luxley, did you raise
I
your
could-
hand? Did you raise your hand to do role play, Luxley?
No, I was going to make a comment on with
Go for it.
Stephen. One thing she did say that there was some foundation problems, and I think he should have followed up a little bit on that because foundation is huge in
Yeah.
terms of repair.
Yeah, get as much.
Yeah, I agree. There was a little, there are not a lot of foundation problems. It came out like made it sound like there might be. I agree. But we got to help Stephen get over the nerves before we're going to get down to digging around at that in the foundation level. So, all right. So, Cindy, thank you, Stephen. Great job. Practice the breathing exercises. Okay.
All right. Somebody in the chat, type out the 5 pillars for me, guys. In the chat, type out the 5 pillars.
Condition, occupancy,
Motivation, timeline, condition,
motivation,
price,
time,
occupancy.
and price.
That is your template, guys.
Yeah.
All right. That's your template.
Okay. So
But
Cindy, did you want to be a buyer or the seller?
Well, I wanted to ask a question just real quick, because if this was a real call and you had someone that had a bad foundation problem and there's no way anyone would be this nice and give them that much information, would we actually say, what is the next step? If you're saying, if you're actually an investor, what would have been the next step? When she said, did you walk the property? You would say, well, do you think they're open to an offer? Then you would say, well, I'd be open to it. I remember Patrick saying something about, yeah, offer after they say yes. And then what's the step after that? Like, it seemed to me that was way too easy as far as giving him all the information. Wouldn't we ask him if they were open to?
Well, the conversation that they have kind of bounced around. And so that's why,
okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted somebody to type in the chat the 5 pillars, because that should be imprinted and tattooed in your brains, guys. Do not deviate from that and that order, because the conversation is just going to flow so much better. The last thing after, okay, great. When do they want to open and close escrow? When are you accepting offers? Then you go to price. Okay, so this is listed at 350. Is there any room on that, or is your seller firm? Well, if I could write an offer that your seller would agree to, would you be open to writing this up for me? And you let them talk. And then once you've got that rapport, I'm just curious, has your seller refused any offers so far? Have they rejected any offers? Right. But if you hit it in that order, it's going to flow way better, way easier for you guys. Right. And I actually kind of go through the condition relatively quickly. And again, that will gauge whether or not they want to talk to you or not. You're gonna really tell who you're dealing with at that point.
And look, you're calling on a specific property. You should already know what the ARV is, pretty much. I mean, you can use that as conversation. I actually said the ARV was 350, so everybody would just pin that number. The other thing is, don't ask about square footage and talk about price per square foot
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
That's all stuff that you know already. You're the expert at that. So you really want to focus on building rapport, finding out, the 4 or 5 pillars. Oh, we lost Jakima. Oh, what happened?
At least she got tired of you, Gary.
Well, so Cindy, what do you want to be? You want to be a buyer, seller? Do you want to do direct to agent? What's your pleasure?
I don't know what I'm doing. You all know this, but I'm open. I don't care. I'll be the real estate agent and be how they usually are to me, because she was way too nice.
Cindy, what do you Cindy, you just brought me a valid.
You want to be an evil real estate agent. Okay.
I want to be the really wicked. No, that was easy, Patrick. That was a give me. Like, the fact that I even got someone that easy was crazy. I didn't work for it. I need to be honest with you. He was like, here you go.
I mean, look, you're gonna get some slam dunks, guys, but just keep going.
I'll be the real estate agent, and I want the guy that's in that big couch, Luxley, to be the buyer.
Oh, she's calling you out.
Luxley,
No, 'cause I like him. I
Luxley.
I like the way he sells.
You've been challenged, my friend.
You're gonna
Let's
do it,
see.
Luxley? You're
Okay.
gonna step up to the plate here?
Luxley's already
Let's-
closed a couple deals, so I think he's got
Let's
this.
go
Yeah,
for it.
exactly. You can teach me.
Ready?
Luxley, you're in Florida, man. I saw this name. Yes, my name.
All right, ARV is 350.
Okay, let's go.
Cindy's a mean.
No, I'm gonna be the
agent.
I'm gonna be the real estate agent that I deal with.
Okay, and Luxley, go for it.
Ring, ring.
Hi, this is Cindy.
Hi, Cindy. How are you today?
Well, I'm fine. Who's this?
This is Luxley Farrow.
Hello, Luxley Farrow. What can I help you with?
Well, I was looking at one of the listings at 123 Main Street.
Okay.
See, it's been sitting on the market for a little bit. Could you tell me a little bit about it, please? Condition?
Sure. Are you a buyer or what? Are you investor? What are you?
I'm an investor. I work with a group of investors and we buy properties similar to this in many locations throughout the country. So we're looking
Okay.
to add some more to our portfolio.
Okay. Well, what can I answer for you, Luxley?
Well, could you tell me a little bit about the condition? I mean, I seen the pictures, but
Yes.
you know, pictures don't always tell you the full story. So
My
could
baby,
you tell
Luxley.
me a
It's my
little
baby.
bit more, please?
Yeah, it's been on the market a little over actually 20 days, which is pretty surprising. It's in pretty good condition. And I've had many offers. And most of them have been turned down.
Could you expand on that for a little bit, please? Have they been turned down? They're too low? Or
Yeah, people are just lowballing us. We don't have time for this, right? We know it's a good area. We're next to schools. Yeah, we don't want to play. We're pretty firm.
you're pretty firm at 350?
Yes.
Okay. But if we do this, Cindy, if I offer you a little bit more, would you think your sellers would accept a term offer?
Luxley, what does that mean, term offer? Can you give me an example so I can understand and present it?
Well, we can have the owner take back, they can finance the property for us instead of us going to the bank. That way we can give them a little bit more for what they're asking if they would finance it for us. Or we can pay you a cash offer, which would be slightly less.
So we have we have equity in the property. So what exactly would you be offering us? It's 350. We have 200, at least 200 equity. What are you offering exactly?
I can't give you a number right now. I have to look at the comps in the area and also have to check with my partners so that we can have a consensus on this as to what we can offer you. But I'll be in touch with you tomorrow. And maybe we have something in writing by then.
Okay, Luxley, well, let me give you my, this looks like your cell phone. I'll text you my email. And again, we're looking for, to get as much money as possible. We don't want to be lowballed and we need an offer. It would be nice to get it tomorrow. So I look forward to hearing from you.
Before you go, Cindy, is it occupied or is it vacant?
It is vacant.
It is vacant. How
Yes.
long has it been vacant?
Well, they own 2 other properties, so it's been vacant.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't, again, they would like, it would be nice to get some sort of income stream going, but anyway. So I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow, Luxley. Thank you so much.
One other question, Cindy.
Yes, Luxley.
What about their timeline? When are they looking to move this property? How fast?
They're not in a hurry. They're
They're
not.
not in a hurry?
No, they're looking for the right offer. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned they have 2 other properties.
Yes.
Are they interested in selling those? Do you know?
That's a really good question, Luxley. I'm glad you actually asked that. Yes, they are always looking. They're looking to sell these 2. They're leaving the country, actually.
They're leaving the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Cindy. Well, I appreciate the information, and I'll be in touch with you tomorrow, either via email or I'll call you.
Only email, Luxley, please. Thank you so
Okay.
much. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Bye-bye.
Have a lovely day.
You too. Good job. I was snappy and bratty, and you got what you needed.
Okay.
What do you think, Patrick?
So one of the things that I would say, Luxley, is ask more specific questions, right? When it comes to conversations with agents and sellers, you want to actually be in control, right? And the way that you do that is you lead the conversation. And how you do that is through this specificity of the question. So when you were like, can you tell me about the condition of the property? That might trigger some agents, because remember, they're on the phone all day taking the same type of conversations, the same type of calls. So can you tell me a little bit about the roof? I'm just looking at the pictures right now. It looks like it may be in disrepair. Do you know anything about the roof? Okay, great. This looks like it's a raised foundation. Do you know anything about the foundation that you can tell me about? Right. So questions that are a little bit more specific will help the conversation flow better, and you'll maintain control of that conversation, right? So
Okay.
if you leave things open to interpretation, it can go anywhere, right? But I think you were pretty confident. I mean, your tonality, it didn't seem like you were nervous in the phone call, which is good. They want it, if you're talking to somebody and they seem confident, it's going to go a lot better for you. Gary, do you have any feedback for him?
Yeah, I think maybe Luxley was a little too relaxed. That couch, he's too sunk in there.
Love that couch.
Guys, when you're going to make calls, calling sellers and agents, you should go to your desk, have a dress for success, or no, but just at least surround yourself with professional accoutrements so that you feel like you're at work and you've got the energy, because you're
guys,
a little too low energy.
Yeah, that might seem trivial, but it's not, guys. Like, it's not. Right now, guys, your physiology.
No, when I make calls, I'm usually out, not from home.
Yeah.
I am on the move.
Yeah, and it's a big point that he's making, guys.
Yes,
like, I'm on the phone, like I'm leaning forward, I'm like upright. It's like, do this right now, guys. All of you who are listening, I want you to smile right now. Just give me a big smile, guys. Smile, keep smiling. Now, while you're smiling, feel depressed for me, guys. Notice that you can't really do it, can you? So if you want to be a sales shark, stand up and hold yourself like a sales shark, and it's going to project through that conversation, right? Feel confidence, hold yourself in a confident way, and you will speak in a confident manner, right? So it's actually, it works, guys. What Gary's saying is really important.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't make calls from my couch or an easy chair. I make calls at my desk. I put on my professional persona when I'm interacting with other realtors and with clients, etc. I think it's really important. It's very easy for us to get into a comfy spot in our homes. We all can work remotely and from home now, but we need to create a professional headspace for ourselves. And it helps if you're seated at a desk in an office chair, etc.
Guys, give Luxley some love and Cindy some love in the chat. Good work, guys.
Hey, Luxley,
Yeah,
thank
great,
you.
guys.
I
Okay, Cindy,
enjoyed
thank
it.
you. You're
See you.
welcome. Take care.
Good work.
Bye.
All right, so we broke the ice here with some. Did people enjoy this? Are you good?
Yeah.
Is this valuable? Should we do some more of this?
Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna get these guys on the actual phone.
Yeah, I think that's the next step.
All right, guys, before we end this, any questions that are just burning in your soul that you need to ask us before we let you guys go?
Yeah, I had a quick question. So I love the that we did some role plays here, and this is the first time that I'm able to get on the Zoom with you guys, but I've watched all your YouTubes. But anyway,
Who's
for the role
talking?
play, oh sorry, Mario.
It's Mario. He's highlighted when he's speaking.
Here, let me raise my hand here. There we go.
Mario Perez. Okay.
Yeah. So my question was, when we role play, would it be possible to role play specific situations so we could kind of do some repetitions on those certain situations that we may come across, like maybe the situation, I forgot what the situation you came across earlier with the call you made, but that way we can repeat it over and over again, maybe tweak it. I think that would be really helpful. I've been wanting to do that, but I haven't been able to get with anyone to be able to
Mario,
do that.
absolutely yes, 100%.
That's
absolutely. Happy to run
Perfect.
scenarios with you.
Perfect.
You know, a violent yes to you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that because there's certain little situations that I run into that I just can't get over, and I think doing those repetitions is really going to help me get my conversation flowing a lot better.
When we're together in 2 days from now, so
yeah,
be here and we'll put your hand up and we'll get you up here and we'll
awesome.
drill you as hard as you like.
Awesome. Yeah, I have an evening job. I'm a waiter in the evening, so I usually start at about 3:30. That's why I can't get on. But today I was off. But if I'm able to get on Wednesday, I'll jump on and see if I can be one of the first ones, so I can get some of those reps in with you guys.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Lionel, turn your camera on so I can
Thanks for
spot.
hanging out with us, Mario.
Thank you, guys.
See you in the next one.
I have a quick question. If possible. This is Danielle.
Hi, Danielle.
Hello. How can we record our calls so we can go back and review them? I accidentally send that privately to someone else by mistake.
You could do Zoom or
Okay.
Loom. Just put it on speaker and then record yourself talking.
Okay.
I have this little, this holds my phone. So get something like that. Or just put it up to the microphone.
It's not holding it well enough. We need to make some adjustments.
I've received several complaints today. Lionel, what's up, dude?
Yeah, we need to make adjustments there. Thanks for
Lionel's
the
back.
question, Danielle.
Lionel's racking up those frequent flyer miles. What's up, dude?
Yeah, right.
Hey, quick question. Can we negotiate the price? Let's say I have a house that I'm looking at now that the loan balance is 564, 862. And the actual ARV is I'm finding it right now, it's 565. And they have it listed for 600. Can I actually negotiate that and take my 10% off it at 564?
I like to give them equity at ask.
Because they're gonna be upside down the other way, I think.
Right. And so what I like to do is I like to start the conversation with their ask. Okay. I'm gonna give you what you're asking for.
Okay.
Because you're asking a favor from them.
Correct.
Assuming a loan subject to is a big favor.
Got it.
So I'm going to give you what you're asking, but I need one thing in exchange.
Got it. Want that interest rate. Got it.
Unless, I mean, they're just crazy, right?
Okay.
Like if they're asking like 30, 50K over ARV, then you need to get good at negotiating that price. And the way that you do that is by looking at comps.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, Shakima, let's wrap it up. Take us home here.
Okay. Patrick, I just had an update. I talked to the agent about the house in Louisiana.
Okay.
And she pretty much told me that they need to be at like 180. I talked to her about subject to, and she said that she was aware of what it was, but she said she don't think that that's something that will work for them. But I did tell her the offer that you told me to present in an email. And she said that she would present it like verbally but that was where that ended. So I guess I'll just wait to hear back from her. And then today I got a lead, but I didn't send it
Well,
in the thing because I
hold on.
wasn't really sure. Oh, okay.
Let's talk about what you just brought up. Why
Okay.
would subject to not work for them?
I think it's because of the legal situation that they're in, because basically I can read to you what she actually said to me on the through text. This is exactly what she said. She said, "Good morning. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get back to you. It's been a hectic week with a lot of back and forth with the sellers on this particular property. I don't think they can entertain less than 180 right now. They have a deal with the sellers and have essentially promised them they will take home a certain amount." So then that's when I told her what the offer was from you. And then she said, "I don't think they would be able to assume the loan, at least not in a manner that the current seller would be removed completely. To my knowledge, they can't do 144 cash, but it wouldn't hurt for me to present that as an option."
Yeah, I mean, if they want 180, that's going to be a waste of time. So you don't have
Right.
clarity as to why they can't do subject to. What kind of loan is it?
I hold on, I will have to go back.
So it doesn't sound like this is a cash deal, just because
Yeah.
we're so far off.
Right.
And so in that case, then, what I would do is with any creative finance negotiation, you should have routinized them in the value and the cash offer first. Well, look, I can give you this. This is how much I would give you for this, because if I'm going to buy it cash, I'm going to flip it. I'm not going to hold it. I'm going to flip it. And I got to make anywhere from 7 to 10%. So this is where my number would be. This is where any investor's number would be. Now, if that number doesn't work for your seller, I understand. There's another way that I can give them what they're asking for. However, I'm going to have to assume their loan. Now, if that doesn't work for them, I totally understand. Maybe we can work on something else in the future. But that, to me as an investor, is the only way that you're going to get that number.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you solidified that cash offer. This is what I can pay for it cash. This is what it's worth to me as an investor. But if they need more, I need terms.
Right. Okay. I really think it's whatever legal situation that the seller's in. I think that's why they are where they are.
Well, you got to find out what that is.
Yeah, you need more clarity on that.
She doesn't. I don't even think she really knows, because I have asked her, like, what's the litigation thing, and she's just like, they're not really telling her much, but she's going through a power of attorney, so I don't really know how much information that person is given to her.
Yeah, I mean, I would just tell her, I think it's going to be a waste of your time and mine to present a cash offer at 180 when we're that far off.
Right.
I mean, if this is $1 million property, it wouldn't matter, because the margins are so different. But this is like 200 something.
200, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're like just so far off. So I would say the only thing that's really going to make sense for us is subject to. If you can give us more clarity on the legal situation, we can help navigate it. If not, then maybe we could work on another project soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick, should we keep going? One more. Here we go. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, the other one, I didn't submit it as a lead because I just got it today, and I really wasn't sure if it was even worth it, but I figured I would just present it and see what you guys say. But it's basically the seller, they're moving to Maine, and they're selling their home. This one isn't actually in Virginia Beach, and they are selling their home. I already spoke to the realtor. He's aware of subject to, he's aware of creative finance, but it's low equity.
They must like it in here.
What?
That's the third one I've killed.
Go ahead. I'm gonna mute that person.
Larry.
Oh, okay. It's low equity, But I did ask the seller, I mean the agent, if that he's had the conversation with them about subject to. He told me not yet, because it is still new on the market. I think he said it's been on the market for like 20 days. So but I'm not really sure. I don't really know if it's really a deal or not. But we don't have time to like for me to give you guys the address and go through it. But I wasn't sure if it was something you just want me to submit it, you want to look at it, see,
in the
or
chat,
if you want to work on it through the Zoom on the next one. Like,
in the chat where it says submit your deal, there's that landing page that I created. There's criteria that we want to get close to. So 10% total entry fee is one of those criteria. Interest rates below 5% is what we're looking at. And it does it cash flow as a long-term rental. Those are generally like what we're looking for in terms of holds, buy and holds.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you already submit it?
No, I didn't submit this lead. This was just today. This was like an hour before we got on the Zoom.
Yeah, you can also just shoot me a message in Circle, but the questions that are on that form is basically what I need to tell you if it's a deal or not.
Okay.
Okay. All right. For the next 3 questions, guys. Thank you, Jakima. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Well, let's see. Let's give Jeff a chance because it's his, you know.
I got a hard stop at 5, guys, so we got to get through these questions pretty quick. What's up, Jeff?
Hey guys, yeah, I just wanted to jump on real quick. I think I'm at a dead end with this one lead that I had. I had submitted an LOI last week, and the one agent sort of just said that the offer was declined, and then I tried to follow up, and there was literally no communication from that agent who initially was open to it. I followed up again today, no response. I think they just hit ignore on my call. So there was a co-listed agent on that listing who I followed up with, and then they told me that the seller didn't want to hold the mortgage, and that was their reasoning why. So then I just tried to get more clarity as to what they meant by that and how to maybe overcome it and answer any questions that they had, and then they still hadn't responded. So I was just curious how to maybe proceed or
Follow
just
up in 30 days.
let it go.
Follow up in 30 days.
Okay.
I mean, we had like a 120-day follow up on a creative deal, and finally they broke down. You got to let the market beat them up.
Yeah.
And then you got to get clear as to like, well, when they say, well, they don't want to do that, go, okay, great. Why don't they? Get more information. Until you get microscopic, you're not going to have a yes or no or maybe, right? Don't take no. You got to get more information. So, okay, so they don't want to have the loan in their name. Can you tell me why that is? What's that preventing them to do? Are they worried about debt to income ratio? Are they worried about us defaulting? What's the concern? And then you talk to them straight about it. Well, you know, we're not going to default because we do these all the time. We have a huge portfolio. We're looking for millions of dollars, or the DTI is going to be taken care of because we're going to be using a licensed service company and they don't have to worry about that. They can get into a new home, right? So answer those questions, but you can't answer those questions until you get minute detail as to why they don't want to do something.
Yeah, it just seems like at this stage they were like totally avoiding me, cutting me off, just ghosted at some point. So that's why I didn't know if I was doing something wrong or I had put something in front of them that offended them, because that's what initially it was like.
You don't know how the conversation went. Their seller could have shit on them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you don't know how that conversation went. And generally what you'll find with agents is if it's not a deal, they will just ghost you. They don't want to have the conversation. Yeah. They don't want to take the time.
That's
and especially listing agents. Especially listing agents, they focus on listings because they don't like to deal with buyers.
Right.
A lot of them, trust me.
Follow up in 30 days.
Don't
Jeff.
take it personally. Listen to what Patrick's saying. 30 days is good.
You only have so much energy. If it's not a deal, keep going. Find something else.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to see more rejections than wins, bro. So get used to it.
Yeah, I know. This one felt close though, because the agent was open to it and then it just sort of like fell apart. So that's why I was like, I didn't know if I offended anybody, but
until
they had no offers. Like they had no offers for 60 days. It's been
doesn't
sitting
matter.
and it's been,
I get what you're saying.
Like 30K. So
and Jeff, and for everybody listening, you got to learn not to get emotionally attached to these deals. I still struggle with that. I still get emotionally attached to deals. And unless it's closed, it's not a deal. right? So it's hard, but you got to coach yourself not to get emotionally attached, because you got to perform every single day and keep pulling the trigger. Okay. So you're doing good. You got close. You got close to a yes, and that's a milestone. So you should celebrate that and keep moving.
Thanks, guys.
Good job taking action, Jeff. All right,
What's up, dude?
all right, Rob.
Hey guys,
Last question.
real fast for the JV agreement, the JV point of contact, phone and email is going to be the agent phone and email and name. Is that correct?
Yeah, either that or the seller, whoever you're talking to.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
That's all.
That's it.
That was an easy. I love ending these with easy questions.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Rob.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
All right, I'm way over. I gotta go to the bathroom and then make a phone call. Thank you,
yeah,
everybody.
we're way over here. All
Gary?
right, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take
Bye, guys.
care, everyone. All right, bye.